What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome to the All Around. I'm your gracious host, Dr. Anthony. Please tune in on Mondays at 6 p.m. for your entertainment purposes. We will hit current topics, old topics, and everything else in between. Be there or be square. Deuces, my loves. Hi, welcome to another great episode of the All Around. I am your esteemed, gracious host, Dr. Anthony, and we have some great topics, as always, that we're going to discuss with you guys tonight. And without any further ado, I would like to go ahead and bring out my producer, Mark Lee, so we can go ahead and get into the
How's it going there, lovely
questions,
lady?
so you guys are not left in limbo. So hi, Mark. How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you doing? Everything's lovely. We had a couple of events here at the Haytie Center. So we had actually we got African dance later on this evening and everything. But we had a young gentleman that passed away, so they did a repast for him. And then we had the youth people that were doing their usual weekend camp, and they were learning everything from drama to dance to a number of other things as well. And then we had a young lady. I guess I could call her young because she's older than me and everything, but she was celebrating, I believe,
We
with
can
her
barely
80th
hear
birthday.
you. Okay.
Uh, can you hear me now? Hold on, let's see if I can
Yes.
get some volume. She was celebrating her 80th birthday, and all along those lines, we had a young lady celebrating her 80th birthday, and that was amazing and everything wonderful in that sense that she hit the 80 mark and all along those lines. So definitely a lot's been going on, and then of course I'm back into that grading mode as well as I work for one of those testing companies and everything like that. So definitely, and they don't even like the term grading; they prefer the term scoring and everything like that because they think that you teachers are the ones that are actually doing the grading since y'all have to deal with them on a regular basis and we're following rubrics and stuff like that. So yeah, it's been a interesting week, and I got some other things going on. I'm supposed to be doing a presentation on history on the center on this coming Friday, and I think I've got some other things coming up, including some possible filmmakers, and we've got play rehearsal, and I think some poets will be in the building later on today as well. So yeah, things have been rolling quietly but good, and that's a good thing.
Beautiful thing. Well, I mean, we actually grade and we do, depending on the subject area, we do follow rubrics and things like that or whatever. We just use them as a guideline
Right.
and we give them to the children so they know exactly what's being graded on and what we're looking for our look fors. So we are definitely familiar with the rubrics and things like that. But yes, we do a host of grading and all that good stuff. So I'm glad you're getting a taste of my medicine now, having to grade all these papers and having to submit
Having a great hundreds, if not thousands
grades.
of
That's the reason why I was off and I'm on time today.
them.
We have to submit grades today. So I have to post and submit grades, and I'm going back to make sure all of the children's grades are accurate and I didn't miss anything because I hate doing paperwork because I tell the kids that I will not complete paperwork if your grades are not in on time. Once I go in and look for your assignments, if they're not there, it's an automatic zero because I am not going back, checking to make sure that you have submitted
Yeah.
for some time and things like that or whatever. But for the most part, most of my kids have, submitted all of their assignments. So I'm just going back, just checking on technical things to make sure everything is everything, all the grades transferred from the grade from Canvas from our teaching site into the actual hosting site where we actually post the grades and whether report cards are, generated and things like that or whatever. So that's what I will be doing after I eat dinner after the show and things like that. But
Dinner's an important thing. Yeah, I do have a
Mark, we
question for
have
you.
a
What?
list of topics that I would like
Yeah,
to tackle.
go
Yes,
for it.
go ahead.
Now, I was just going to ask you one
No, go
question.
ahead with your question first.
Yeah, but I just wanted your thoughts because I did see, and it might be one of your topics, that they are talking about shutting down DEI and all along those lines. So that was one of those executive orders. So apparently, a lot of people are not having DEI, and as far as I was concerned, that was about trying to make sure that there was a well balanced workforce, and meaning that there was people representing all kinds of backgrounds and everything like that. But apparently, Trump doesn't see it that way, and he wanted to shut them down and shut them down in the government. So I think that there's a number of people, including in your neck of the woods, that are now retiring because they are no longer working for DEI type companies. I just wanted your thoughts on what Trump is doing with DEI, diversity, inclusion, and diversion, equity, and inclusion.
Well, the whole thing is the whole big push behind DEI is that they're trying to liken it to intend them to us and things like that or whatever. But um excuse me, I'm sorry, I just got an email that popped up. So people don't understand that DEI is more than just Black people. DEI actually affected a lot of people other than, the Black community and, Black professionals, because we only made up 3.8% of DEI hires. The bulk of the hires were white women. They think that they were hurting us by saying that they're getting rid of DEI, which is diversity, equity, and inclusion. But you actually hurt, a lot of people within your own community. And so, diversity, equity, and inclusion does not only encompass, like those type jobs. It also encompasses veterans. It also
Mm-hmm.
encompasses people with disabilities and other, subgroups that benefit from the diversity, equity, and inclusion. And so, what they fail to realize and what they fail to tell people is diversity, equity, and inclusion included. Even if you have a disability where you would, a notice for a job and people wouldn't call you back. If you were under DEI, people would call you back because they could not discriminate against you because you had a disability. If you had a speech impediment, if you had this, if you had that, even veterans who were considered, DEI because they fell upon the DEI, they lost their top priority status. So, a lot of people don't even understand that DEI encompasses more than for the peons on the totem pole. I'm talking about the Black community. Everybody else benefit way more than Black people or whatever, but because they likened it to Black people and pushed it off as it's a Black thing, that people were like, oh no, we have to get rid of DEI and things like that. I read the other day that there was a veteran who wrote to Trump or whatever, posted it on social media saying that his wife was hired at the Veterans Affair there, things like that. But because he put in those, executive orders and things, the job was rescinded. And he was like, man, hey, I'm a veteran. I supported you. I did this. But see, but y'all don't understand. We tried to explain this to you guys. We tried to tell you what DEI was. But, what I get on my social media is that I'm hating and things like that or whatever. And, I'm an angry Black woman. I'm not an angry Black woman. We were just trying to explain to you the being in a diversity, equity, inclusion situation or whatever. It has nothing to do with me being angry or hating on someone. I'm not hating on anybody, but you have to look at the whole scope of things. But people don't look at the whole scope of things. That's just like when he's talking about tariffs. They didn't understand what a tariff was. They don't understand that if those tariffs go on, the person that's doing the import exports and things like that, the people, the consumers are going to feel the brunt end of the prices and stuff like that or whatever. So they use and they advantage to get the people riled up, talking about Black people were taking their jobs and things like that or whatever, to say, they did not want DEI and this, that, and the third. But, they really don't understand how they screwed themselves. You voted for, to get rid of DEI. So not only are you getting rid of DEI, which was your protection, you're also getting rid of your health care because they're going after the health care. They're going after the Social Security. And we're not even 2 weeks in. We're only what,
Mm-hmm.
5, 6 days in?
8 days in. I think
What's to
today's
come?
day
But
eight.
we tried to explain, you know what I'm saying? We tried to explain to them what was going to take place. Black people wrote the playbook on it. So we saw what was coming. We saw what was happening. We experienced all this stuff. But because they were so stuck up in, into their tails and things like that, talking about Black people trying to take their jobs and everybody needs to be hired on merit and things like that. And if we really just look at being hired on merit and things of that nature or whatever, we would see that everybody in terms of degrees, certification and things like that. It's already proven that Black women are the most educated group among everybody in the country, in the nation. So if we want to play it like that, then we should never be without a job. But we already know what time it is. We already know that they're not going to go just solely off degrees and things like that or whatever. We already know that it's still going to be race based, and we a lot of people will not get hired based on their race, the color of their skin, their names, and things like that that they use of hiring and firing, which is discriminatory. Now you can't say anything against it because those protections are gone. So now those people, they fucked around and found out that they no longer have those protections and things like that. So now they're up in arms saying, hey, we didn't know that this meant that. But when we tried to tell y'all, y'all wasn't listening. Mark.
Yep, that makes a lot of sense, and that's what's kind of my attitude as well. That they didn't realize what they were messing up, and all along those lines. But definitely, there's also some pushback, which I'm glad to see from some of the countries and everything. And I saw two women that were giving pushback and everything. Ironically, they were Latin American women, but yes, I think the president of Honduras and the president of Mexico are basically like, yeah, try that if you want to. And I even heard today that Canada is saying that they're might even cut off the energy or some of the energy to the U.S. if he starts messing with these tariff games and everything. And even some of the
Mm-hmm.
European countries are not friendly to what's going on either. So I think he just thought he was going to roll in and that everybody was going to roll over. But that doesn't seem to be the case because there are some smart women out there, just like there's some smart guys, and they are like, we don't have to put up with your BS. I heard he even had a terrorist conversation with the president of Denmark and everything. So folks are like, not just going to roll over because he said to roll over.
Right. No, they're not. And the thing about it is he's talking a good game and things like that or whatever. And these people are ready to give that pushback and to move forward with whatever they need to move forward with or whatever. Because like the Canadian said, if he moved forward with the tariff, they're just going to cut off the power to Michigan, Wisconsin, and New York and things like that, whatever makes people suffer. And they're ready to do it. They hate to do it, but they're going to do it. So, people don't even understand how this man is, like causing havoc amongst, our allies and things like that in the world and putting us in a very dangerous position with, everybody. He's already taken us out of WHO, which is the World Health Organization. He's already taken us out of the Climate Paris Agreement and things like that or whatever. He's an idiot. And my thing is, he was a failed business hung up on Trump, 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 or whatever that, y'all couldn't see past his bullshit and things like that. He damn near bankrupt the nation the first time that he was in office, and y'all put him back in office. So it's going to be, interesting to see because like I said, I'm really waiting for, the shit to hit the fan so that we can really get into this recession. So they need to just go ahead and have it or whatever because it is going to happen. It's not a matter of when and if, it is going to happen. So
Yeah.
he's saying that the stock market is volatile and it's on the brink of a recession right now. So I mean, it's a matter of time before it does happen.
Yeah. Speaking of things that have been volatile and everything like that, and then I know you got a bunch of topics you wanted to cover and everything, but I do have a question because we oftentimes have a number of athletes that are crying broke and everything, and there's an athlete that was 50-0, and he is denying claims that he needs money and everything. So Floyd
Hmm.
Mayweather, no doubt about it, Floyd Mayweather is a major fighter and was a major fighter. He retired from the sport with a 50-0 record, so that means he was never beaten, and he produced some of the most lucrative fights in the sport. So he had mega fights against Manny Pacquiao and Conor McGregor. And there are reports that he earned over $1 billion since leaving the sport, but there have been question marks over his finances. And Mayweather has continued to take on exhibitions since his retirement, and this has created a narrative that he's struggling for money. But apparently, he shut down Eddie Hearns and was saying that uh, that if he can pick up big money for what are essentially sparring matches, he will continue to do that. And Hearns has not been convinced by the narrative, and apparently he's trying to say that he's not that Mayweather is broke and everything. So definitely they're going back and forth. And even Hearns says, I don't think he's got the money he says. That's what I think. I don't think he needs the money, but you know what? You've got that lifestyle when he's spending what he's spending. So just wanted your take. Is Mayweather broke? Because I know a number of athletes have been broke and have spent their money uh, quicker than they needed to. But there seems to be going back and forth, and Hearns has his own
Honestly,
reputation. Mm-hmm.
honestly, I don't really follow Mayweather. I don't know if he's broke, if he's not broke or whatever. But honestly, I don't think he is because he just bought he just purchased property for one of his either his children or grandchildren or something like that in New York, if I'm not mistaken, somewhere on the East Coast and things like that. So I don't think he's broke. Just because a person is not being flashy,
Right.
not necessarily constitute that they're broke. By societal standards, he could be living well, within his means, within his rights, just like MC Hammer said that, he's not broke or whatever, but by, societal standards, they think that he's broke. So, I mean, it's not my call to say if he is or if he isn't, I just think he's, laying low and living a low profile. That's just like Ocho Cinco. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people said that he's broke, but he's not broke. You know what I'm saying? He just didn't do the flashy, flash money in a wild way and things like that. And he talks about it, how he had fake diamonds and things like that. And he lived at the practice facility for 2 years without getting an apartment and stuff like that or whatever. So I mean, it just depends on what you deem as successful, prosperous, and broke or whatever. So I guess according to their standards, they are, but not necessarily saying that they are. Broke without funding and things like that or whatever. Because I think the second that he would have gone broke or he filed bankruptcy,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that makes sense. And apparently, there's some people that are talking about the lackluster careers of some of the athletes. And one of the athletes has come back and basically said that there is no such thing as lackluster because he believes that there are no
Hmm.
bust players in the NBA. So Allen Iverson was actually giving credit to those folks that maybe they weren't the big stars like a LeBron James or a Dwight Howard, but they still had to do the due diligence to even get success and everything. So Allen Iverson said there are no busts in the NBA. In an interview on Kwame's
Right.
podcast, he says that every player in the league has worked hard to simply get where they are and should be not labeled as a bust because definitely they had to work hard to get into the league in the first place. And the same probably can be set up with the NFL. And I know they're going to get to the Super Bowl and everything. But yeah, and I understand. I think Kendrick Lamar will be playing at the Super Bowl, and there's this whole
Yeah.
controversy between him and Drake.
Honestly, I don't think Drake is nowhere in the picture or whatever, but Kendrick Lamar. But since you brought Drake into the conversation, Drake has basically shown he's definitely not like us. He's not with the culture and things like that or whatever. Because how my thing is how you come out with a rap battle and not taking your L, not taking your loss, and then when people are inflating the numbers. When I was in Cartagena, when I was out the country, they were playing Not Like Us. I mean, but all that Kendrick Lamar, I'm over there on a boat, with Hispanic music and all that stuff or whatever. Not like us, they not like us, and things like that or whatever. So it's not that the record label inflated the numbers. The people wanted to hear that song. That song was popping and stopping at that particular time. And then every time he comes out with some crazy notion or whatever, the song jumps back up on the charts because people start playing it and things like that or whatever. But he failed to realize that the whole point of Not Like Us is saying that he's not like us within the culture, and it shows that he's not like us in the culture. Kendrick Lamar song "Bing Bang Boom Bam Pam" or whatever he says or whatever. And that's something that we say in the Black community. So when I first heard it, I knew exactly what it was. I was like, "Oh, he playing the dozen." And I had to explain to one of my friends. I say, "Y'all don't call it the dozen up here. Y'all call it Jonin." So basically, what it is, he's talking about somebody. He's getting ready to talk about somebody, and he's about to go in. And I told my friend, I was like, when we play the dozen mean that nothing is, safe. Nothing is your mama, your daddy, your brother, your sister, your cousins, your uncle, your grandmother, your grandfather, your dead cousins, your dead brother. We talk about everybody. Nothing is off limits when you're playing a dozen. And so he doesn't understand, certain cultural aspects of, Black culture. And that's basically what Kendrick Lamar is saying, that you're not like us. You're not a part of the culture. You want to be a part of the culture, but you're not a part of the culture. Just because you have Black rated and things like that. That has nothing to do with you being a part of the culture. You're looking the part, but you're not a part of the culture. Mark.
Yep, that's very much true. And I've heard a lot of back and forth, but we'll see how Kendrick does when he plays the Super Bowl because I think he has been the one that'll play the Super Bowl, and we'll see what special guests he brings. 'Cause it seems like they always bring special guests to the Super Bowl and all along those lines. So we'll see what goes on in that space and how that plays out and everything like that. But I didn't want to get too much into the sports and other things, including the DEI, because I know you've got a bunch of topics that you wanted to get to as well. And it is the all around show with the beautiful Dr. Anthony. So we got to see what she's got on her mind as well. So what's shaking and what's on your mind?
Well, DEI was definitely one of the areas that I was going to touch base upon. So we just, did it kind of out of order or whatever, and things like that. But like you say, things of that nature. But when people are, and I tell people this all the time, when you're out there and when you're looking, trying to decide which politician is best for you, you need to understand and you need to listen to the rhetoric and the things that they're saying. And if you don't know what some of that stuff means, you need to take notes and go back and look it up so you can read for yourself instead of taking these people's word. For example, Donald Trump said that he had no clue about Project 2025. He was not affiliated with the people from Project 2025. He didn't have anything to do with Project 2025. What is he doing? Hiring all the people who wrote Project 20 on Project 2025. It's gonna be now, it's gonna be so stringent upon, like women, single women and things like that or whatever, that you're not gonna even have women in the picture after a while because women are gonna be too afraid to do anything. You can't get the medical treatment that you need. But this is old white men tell women what to do with their bodies and things like that. But see, like I've always stated, white women vote against their own best interest. And because they do that, they screw us in the process. Not only did Latinos voted against their own best interest. And so, you have all these Latinos on TikTok and Facebook and all that stuff talking about, we voted for him. And now we're afraid that we're going to get deported. Our kids are going to get deported. Well, this is what you voted for. He specifically said that he was going to do exactly what he was going to do in terms of mass deportation. Did you think he was lying? Or did you not know that he was lying? So when we were sitting there and we were going back to tell
Right?
you that, this is what's going to take place and y'all wouldn't listen. So now you're finding out that this is going to take place, even with the Palestinians. You know what I'm saying? Oh, they got on TikTok, they got on Facebook, they got on all these social media platforms talking about vote for Jill Stein, do not vote for Kamala Harris. If you vote for Kamala Harris and black people, you're voting against whatever you believe in. Then those same people got on those same social media platforms when Trump won, saying that we're going to deport their asses back to those places that
Yep.
struggling in. Oh, then it's President Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Can you do something? But no, they can't do anything because for that man. So now you have to deal with the consequences. So now you're gonna get deported and things like that or whatever. And then because it's so damning, Mark, that a lot of people want to do things to black people because they think that it's going to hurt us. We even have people from Africa, Nigeria saying that they voted for Trump. Why in the hell vote for Trump? I just don't understand. In what lifetime your own interest, your own best interest was the way to go and things like that or whatever. It just really doesn't make any sense. And so, when y'all asses get deported because, he's saying that you're not a naturalized citizen or whatever, when y'all get deported and things like that, thank you and the rest of the people who voted for this man to even be able to do what he's doing to implement these executive orders. Y'all chose a lie about, reducing the price of gas and reducing the price of eggs instead of getting $25,000 to 50,000. So y'all chose that foolishness. Y'all didn't want a black woman because y'all said that a black woman couldn't lead the country and things like that. She was not equipped. She was not qualified, but she was way more qualified than Trump has with his failed businesses. Every business that he touched has been failed and yielded in bankruptcy. which we're on our road to bankruptcy, and which we're on our road to, all those things that he did in his business and things like that or whatever. So at the end of the day, after his presidency is over, who are the people that's going to be left holding the bag with the taxes? You are, because he's already said that they're going to extend his previous tax cuts from when he was in office the first time to the rich. And the people that are going to pay for those tax cuts, Mark, are the poor people. So when they were talking about they didn't have no money under President Biden and Kamala Harris, Trump was the reason why they didn't have no money. They talking about they wanted stimulus checks and things like that or whatever. It wasn't because of the Republicans that they got stimulus checks. It was because of so my thing is, y'all can be ignorant and continue to be ignorant. So whatever happens to y'all happens to y'all, because if y'all not making over six figures and in the upper epsilon of the salary scale and things like that, it is really going to hit you hard and things. But we tried to tell them, we were fighting for them, but they didn't want to listen, Mark. So all I can say at this point is, y'all done fucked around and found out. So when your Social Security get tampered with, when your health care is gone and you have no health care and things like that, the only is the person that is in the mirror is you. That's the only person that you can blame. And things like that or whatever. So when you're looking at somebody talking about pointing a finger and blaming anyone, you're the only person that you can blame, because you voted for this foolishness. You listen to the rhetoric. You listen to the Republicans talking about black people this and black people are a direct beneficiary of what you voted for. So you are that direct beneficiary. Mark.
Yep, that makes a lot of sense what you're saying and everything. But yeah, folks aren't thinking about that. But like you said, now there's this whole back and forth over tariffs with some of those Latin American countries and everything. I know that there was this whole argument with Colombia and I believe Honduras and Mexico and a couple of the other Latin American countries, because apparently he's trying to ship people to those countries and everything if they are originally from there, and if they can, I guess, prove that they were illegal immigrants, even though how much proof they actually need, who the heck knows, and everything. But yeah, there's definitely a lot of payback, and he's done a lot of damage within the 8 days and everything. But he still got more damage to do, because he just got Pete Hedges approved. Christy Nomes, who had that whole thing, I think that was with her dog that she shot or something like that. But she just got approved, and now they're trying to see if RFK Jr. and Tulsi Gabbard are going to get approved. But yeah, a bunch of his crowd is getting approved, and he did pardon all of those January 6th individuals, and now they have even one of the founders of the network says that they basically have their own militia now, or he has his own militia that he can deploy whenever he wants to and everything. And ironically, she's a white woman, one of the founders of this particular network and everything. But yeah, it does look like there's some scary times ahead. But like you said, the folks who were trying to tell folks even before that, we had an incident here recently, because people are masquerading as things that they aren't and everything. So apparently here in Durham, there was somebody driving around pretending to be an ICE agent, and they went to Compare. And I don't know whether y'all have Compare up there in DC, but Compare is basically a very popular Latin American grocery store and everything like that. But they went there masquerading because they knew that that's where a lot of the Latin population would be, as if they were real ICE agents. And of course, that just gave a lot of those people anxiety and stress and everything like that.
Well, I mean, you already know it's going to be a lot of that stuff going around and going on and things like that or whatever, because we have the foolishness. I did a video this morning in terms of referencing ICE and things like that in the education community, because I've been seeing different and on different social media saying that they're going to go toe to toe and fight ICE and to protect these kids. They're going to stand 10 toes down. And I'm like, why would you go toe to toe and fight ICE and try to stop something that is inevitable that we have no control over? It's not that I'm not saying that you don't have compassion for your students and you don't care for your kids, because I do. I'm going to follow the protocol. But as far as like obstructing justice and things like that, where I'm being arrested for not allowing these people to do what they have been want to do that. And so, I pose that question, why would you put yourself in harm's way or, risk your certification and your licensure because, people are saying that they are going to, like fight ICE for the students and things like that. But, my thing at the end of the day, 65% of the Hispanics voted for Trump. So they knew exactly what was going to happen. You can't sit here and tell me that they didn't know what was going to happen, because he said from day one that he was going to protect the border, and he was going to do mass that was going to get deported. Black people, you know what I'm saying? Like the foundational blacks are not going anywhere. If they deport anybody, it'll be the Nigerians, the Africans, the Haitians, and things like that, which they have already started deporting them back to their home countries anyway, in grave numbers and stuff like that, even before the mass deportation started. But my thing is, I'm going to follow protocol that is outlined by my job, and that is all that I'm going to do, as far as getting people faces and bringing going to do that, because I've worked too hard to get to where I am, and things like that or whatever. Do I feel for them? Yes, I do feel for them. But at the end of the day, it was your cousins, it was your family members, it was your co-workers and all of that who looked down on y'all, that put this man in office overwhelmingly by 65% or whatever, that said to hell with your safety and to hell with everything else or whatever. So it's really nothing that I can do. So understanding that ICE, regardless of how you feel, that they have a job to be given or whatever. But for somebody to go out and impersonate ICE, that's wrong on so many levels and things like that. But I'm not surprised. They impersonate cops all the time or whatever. So it's no surprise that they're impersonating ICE and trying to spread widespread havoc into the Hispanic community, more so than it already is, and things like that or whatever. So yeah, it's no surprise there.
Yep, and there was this rumor, and apparently it wasn't a true rumor and everything. But with all the things that he's canceled and everything, there has been some speculation that at some point he might try to cancel Black History Month, even though most people are saying that that is only a rumor, and that would definitely put up a uproar and everything. But speaking of an uproar and everything, I've also understood that there is the possibility, I don't think he's done it yet, that he might pardon Derek Chauvin, who is the gentleman that was the police officer that killed one of our own and everything. So, what is your take? Would that be the beginning of some serious riots if he did that, or would we just kind of roll over and not pay any attention? Because I think that that could trigger some serious backlash.
Honestly, I think honestly, I just think Black people are over it right now. And for the next 4 years, we have already said no matter what this man do, we're not going to react, we're not going to respond, and things like that, because they're just looking for reasons to like arrest us and put us in chains and prisons and things like that or whatever. So it wouldn't surprise me if he go back through and pardon all of those people and stuff like that. Look what he did with the insurrectionists. You know what I'm saying? These people were guilty. Officers and things like that or whatever. So it would not surprise me if he does go ahead and pardon this man and things like that or whatever. But from Black standpoint, especially from the 92%, we are not battling anything when it comes to any of that foolishness with that administration and things like that or whatever. We are on rest for the next 4 years, and we're not saying anything, we're not engaging, we're not giving them the headspace to we're just not giving them the energy and things like that. Nothing surprises me with this administration. So if he does pardon this man, it won't be no surprise there.
It didn't,
You know.
didn't surprise you in the least bit, but I'm just wondering if that couldn't be like a Rodney King type moment where you see a lot of people taking to the streets and all along those lines. So it'll be interesting to see how this all plays out, because I know a lot of people.
Honestly, the way the culture is responding and the way the culture is acting, I honestly don't think so, because everybody has already said that we're going to
Gotcha.
do this for the next 4 years and things like that or whatever. So we already know that those executive orders can be overturned and things like that or whatever within the next presidency. So everybody is just really, just taking a step back. So I honestly don't believe that it's going to be a Rodney King type situation. Like I said, it's just, we're taking notes, we're listening, we're seeing, and things like that or whatever. And we're taking everything. But I honestly don't believe that it's going to be a Rodney King type situation, because like I said, they has been on the rise since he, assumed the helm of the presidency and things like that. So, we are just treading lightly, because, we have gotten arrested for, just being Black, for standing outside, for driving in our cars, for walking our dogs and
Mhm.
things like that or whatever. So we are definitely treading lightly. We're not ignoring things. We're listening. We're very cognizant of what's going on. We're just not acting upon those things. So we won't act until, his presidency is over and, everything in the open with this man and this presidency, unless Congress puts some parameters in place and things like that, which is highly likely because they control the House and the Senate and things like that or whatever. So pretty much what he wants to do is going to happen, and people just got to understand y'all fucked around and found out. So y'all have to deal with the consequences of your actions. Mark.
Yeah. Well, definitely a lot going on in that space and everything. We talked yesterday. It looks like Joe Biden's pardon of a black civil rights leader, and I think we talked on that last week. Some people are saying that that was a correction of something that should have been done a long time ago. And when he pardoned Marcus Garvey, so there are definitely some people that are singing that praise and wishing that there would be more things like that. Because I'm sure there are some other leaders that should have gotten pardoned that weren't pardoned, that were part of the various movements and all along those lines. But yeah, I still don't understand the January 6th situation and how he was able to get away with that and everything like that and everything in that space. Hey, I did see something in your news, and you'll be glad to know about this one because I know you are an educator and a very good educator and everything. But a former black educator of 20 years launched a luxury wellness retreat for women entrepreneurs and professionals. So her name is Tony Estelle, and she's the founder and CEO of Macaron High, a black-owned wellness brand that empowers high-energy women to reclaim their energy, align with their purpose, and do some redefinition and everything along those lines. So looks like there is some things going on in that space and everything like that. So that's some good news. This
So,
is
before we jump into, I'm sorry for cutting you off. Before we jump into, like black-owned businesses and things like that or whatever, this part will lead into the segue because I really wanted to start off with HillmanTok, but we kind of went out of order and things like that or
okay.
whatever. So we're gonna address HillmanTok right now. So
Mhm.
HillmanTok is the Black online university that has been started on TikTok and things like that or whatever. So it's called Hillman. It's been started by a group of Black women. So there was a live on yesterday. So I've been following and keeping up. I'm planning to partner with them so we can get some of those guests and offer our services. Now, granted, they
Mhm.
will have to pay to be a guest on the show and also advertise on the show, things like that or whatever, because we cannot operate without, having some type of currency coming in
Right.
and things like that or whatever. So I'm definitely working with them to strike up a partnership with him and talk. So for those of you who have not heard of him, Black University that has started on TikTok. So you can go there and there's a list of courses that you can sign up for. Some of the courses are free, some of them are not, depending on the instructor. So if you're interested in taking any of those courses, they have forensic for forensics. They have I'm not for sure if they have ESOL because we were looking ELA. I mean, um, some people ask for ELA. We have photography. There's math courses. There's philosophy courses. There's sign up for on Hillman Talk. You will also go through a registration process. You will also get an acceptance letter, and people were asking about Greek organizations and things like that. So they're reaching out to the Greek organizations to see if you can actually participate and pledge with the Greek organizations as well. So not only are you able to take these courses from esteemed professors, you're also able to get other services. Be on the lookout for all of those different services from Black women. When they think that they have shut us up, Mark, and shut us down, we always find innovative ways that we can come back and show them that we're not going anywhere, and we are definitely going to be like the phoenix and rise above the ashes and things like that or whatever. So if you haven't had an opportunity to check out him and talk, make sure you go to TikTok and check out him and talk and see what type of courses they have. They have financial that you
Yeah,
can
we definitely got to
possibly
take.
love in terms of the courses and things like that. And Mark, you may be interested in taking some courses. They have Black history, African American history, and things like that, or whatever. African American arts. They have literature. They have a host of courses that are being offered. And like I said, a lot of the courses are being offered for free, but you do have to sign up. And a lot of
Mhm.
the courses started today's Monday, right? A lot of the courses started today, some started on Saturday. So please go if it's a course that you would like to take from one of these beautiful Black professors who are offering these courses. Some of them are free. I know the photography class is not free. There is a curriculum that you have to follow. You have homework that you have to do. These are real live courses that you have to take. Well, you don't have to take that if you're interested in taking it, interested in being a part of. I did not sign up to teach because my schedule is so busy as we speak as as
Well,
of
like,
right now. I just don't have the bandwidth to, you know, extra, like courses outside of what I'm already doing. Because Mark, you already know I teach during the day, work with mental health patients, and then I also run, my business and things like that or whatever, writing my books and stuff like that. So it's a little difficult for me at the moment to teach in Hillman Talk, but I will offer my platform in terms of allowing people to come on the show to talk about their brands, to talk about what they are um, you know bring it to the community
well, I
or
did have a
whatever over
question.
here so that they are exposed to, like, what, yeah, 30 plus different countries.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah, about 130, something like that. But I did have a question based on what you're saying and everything. Well, a couple of things. One, I have done some history talks. I've got one of those, like I said, coming up on Friday, and I've done them at Duke and a number of other places. So, will they be needing teachers? So, if so, I might have to offer my services to them.
Yes,
And then,
they will need teachers, and I can send you address so you can go ahead and send your resume over there and let her know that I referred you and things like that. So they do need extra professors. So if you're interested, you can hit me up on my Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or whatever, and let me know to give you her information so that you can start corresponding. Now, in order to become a professor over there, you need to send a 30 to 60-second video. Also, your email her your curriculum vitae if you are interested. The curriculum vitae is I'm sorry, the curriculum vitae is your for people who are in higher ed. That's what we call it, curriculum vitae. So I have a curriculum vitae, and I also have a regular resume that I usually send out and things like that or whatever. So please make sure you get at me and let me know if you're interested in becoming a professor or a teacher at Hillman Talk and offering any of those courses,
no, I would be very much interested. The other thing I was going to ask
unique
is, I
courses and
remember
things. I can definitely give you Dr. Arnold's information. So, Mark, I think that would be an awesome thing for you to,
yeah, I would
you know,
definitely be
um,
interested.
yes,
I'd
for
be
you to
quite interested.
participate and teach that history course.
Yeah, just really quickly, if I remember correctly, wasn't that the name of one of the schools that was connected with different worlds? So was that a intentional ode to that particular school and everything like that? Because that's the other thing I was wondering, because I was trying to remember the name of the school that the characters were going to when they were at.
It is definitely paying homage. Yes, it is
Yeah,
definitely paying homage to Hillman University on a different world. So the crest and the logo, it has already been created with Hillman Talk. So it is, Dr. Honor has stated that we are living in a different world and things like that or whatever. And so we have to meet the needs of the different worlds. So we are definitely meeting the needs by bringing our people different courses through the Hillman Talk University and things like that. But yes, it is definitely paying homage to um things like that or whatever.
yeah. And I thought as it was when I heard the name and everything. On a sadder note, and I know you're going to love tearing into this one and everything like that, but because apparently they tried to claim that they were not doing what they evidently did do. But there was a cruise line in Australia that apparently had to apologize for their crew costumes that
Mhm.
resembled KKK hoods. And now they were claiming that they were supposed to be representing something else, but I don't know how you can mistake a KK hood for something else and all along those lines. But they said that they were mistaken, and that is not what it's supposed to be resembling and everything like that, because it is definitely one of the most hated white supremacist groups out there and everything. But they said that they were supposed to be, I guess, playing else or something else, but that was not what they were intending. But I just find that a little fishy and everything. But I just wanted your take on this notion that they were not intended to be what they have now said that they were, which is definitely offensive.
I mean, from what I read and what I gathered, they said that they were trying to be upside down snow cones or something like that or
Something
whatever.
like
I
that.
mean,
Exactly.
you can look and see the snow cones and the head shape, but from first glance or whatever, it does not appear to be a snow cone. It appears to be, you're representing the KKK and things like that or whatever. So I definitely would have felt some type of way, even though they're trying to be snow cones. Because my thing is, if you wanted to be a snow cone, why didn't you have different color base?
Right.
White. You know what I'm saying? So you could have played it out as a snow cone if you had a different color base and things like that. But you had all white and you walking around with the pointy hood and things like that. So I think they knew exactly what they were doing. And honestly, I just believe that they didn't expect the backlash that they are receiving and along that line or whatever. But you cannot possibly tell me that you don't know or never heard of these people in American history. They said that they're from Australia. I don't care if you are from Australia, and things about the plight of Black people in the United States, Jim Crow era. Because Jim Crow has even came up in recent times saying that we're already going back to the Jim Crow era, and we've been pushed back 50 years and things like that from all the progress that we made in 1965 up until now. So you can't sit here and tell me that y'all did not know that those hoods resemble the KKK. And speaking
Yeah.
of the KKK and Elon Musk threw up a Nazi sign when he was giving a speech or something.
It was.
They're
Uh-huh.
talking about he didn't throw up a Nazi sign. No, we know what we saw. And my thing is, I did a video on asking about the Jewish community. Why is there no outrage from the Jewish community? But y'all had every outrage when Colin Kaepernick did what he did, when Nick Cannon did what he did, when Kanye West said what he said. Y'all had a problem with the Black people talking about what they were talking about, the ones that put y'all asses in the incinerator. You know what I'm saying? It was Black people that went in the incinerator as well. So y'all want to hold us to a different standard, but you give him a pass when he clearly gave up the Nazi sign and the Nazi symbol and things like that or whatever. But y'all say nothing.
Yeah. There were a couple of, yeah, they didn't say anything about that. And there's a lot of other things that they didn't cover as well. By the way, and I know it's not one of your favorite people, not one of my favorite people either, but apparently Candace Owens has quit Turning Point USA after members demanded that she resign. So, there was a time that she was the GOP darling, but she's resigned as communications director for Turning Point USA, which is a right-leaning organization. And they claim that they're aimed at educating college students about free markets and limited government. But she's officially resigned because apparently they had some pushback and everything along those lines. So she gave a lengthy Instagram post and everything like that. So she's been gone now for a while. But I was just wondering our notion about when the wheels are turned and all along those lines, because she's been gone for a while. But that was a story from back in the Wild West. How she was, I guess, shocked that she was not going to be the darling at all times. And who knows, maybe she'll get a position in the Trump administration and everything like that. And I know you're not a big fan, and this is changing the topic slightly as we're winding down, of interracial couples and everything.
Hold
But
on, let me respond because you jumping from topic to topic. Hold on.
okay, yeah,
So the whole Candace Owens notion, who cares? Honestly, what Black person in the Black community actually cares about what Candace Owens does and what Candace Owens says? You know what I'm saying? Her soul to the devil and things like that or whatever, because she honestly started trying to be a Democratic pundit, but see, the Democrats didn't bite up on what she was spewing and things like that or whatever, and so she didn't make headway into the realm of Democrats, and then she switched over to Republicans, and then when she switched over to Republicans, talking about there was no racism. But you're the same Candace Owens that you and your mama sued the school district and y'all won because you said that you got discriminated against. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So my thing is the price that they're bought and things like that or whatever. So now that you're no longer useful, they have played you and you have ran out. Now they're getting rid of your ass and things like that. So more power to her. I hope she lose everything that she has, going on for her and things like that or whatever. Because when you sold your soul to the devil and when you sold your soul to them white folks and stuff like that or whatever, you went down here from there. So who gives a shit about Candace Owens and what she got going on and where she got fired from? We don't care over here.
Yeah, no, that's right. But speaking of things, I know it's not your
Now, what was the
biggest
other
thing.
thing that you were saying, Mark?
Well, apparently there's a brother who is a black brother, a retired police officer, and apparently he caught some flack because he was accused of trafficking his the person he was with, but it turns out the person he was accused of trafficking was his own wife and everything. So this is a newer news story. So he has since filed a lawsuit against American Airlines for racial discrimination and emotional distress. So apparently him and his wife, who looks like she's got a Polish or a Eastern European last name, Catarana something or another, were on a American Airlines flight from Phoenix to Miami on September 2022 when a fellow passenger accused him of trafficking. This accusation led to their detention by airline staff upon landing, causing them significant embarrassment as other passengers watched. So apparently he was caught up in that whole human trafficking, and human trafficking is a very serious issue and everything, but they were just thinking that because he was with a white woman that he couldn't be with her out of love or out of some sort of affection. He had to be doing something illegal with her and everything like that. So,
Honestly, I don't care. He chose to go that route, so deal with the consequences. Oh well. Next topic.
all right, so he went that route, so he just got to pay the consequences because
Deal with the
that's
consequences. You chose to go that route, so deal with the consequences. Oh well. Black women ain't finna come to your defense. Black women ain't finna save you. So well, you're not even getting no talk time on my show. Oh well, deal with it.
deal with it. So just get over it. Just get over it because he
Next topic.
should have been with us just in
Yep.
the first place.
Basically, get over it
Get
because we don't
over
give a
it.
shit what happened to your ass. Deal with it.
Yeah. Well, the other thing, and you kind of alluded to it, I think we talked about it before. Apparently, rapper Nelly is defending his performance at Trump's inaugural ball because of all the backlash. Because he did get a lot of backlash for deciding that he wanted to perform at the inaugural ball for said gentleman and everything like that. So, how long will Nelly have to deal with this, or is he just gonna have to deal with it for the rest of his career, or is he basically a done
Oh, definitely.
person?
He's definitely gonna deal with it for the rest of his career because we try to tell him, don't be no step and fetch. Just like Snoop, we try to tell you, don't be no step and fetch. But my thing is they purposely targeted Snoop because in the last election, he was over there talking about which one of y'all gonna be a massa, which one of y'all boys gonna jump out there, which one of y'all niggas gonna do this. They purposely targeted you and they showed that your ass could be bought and you did exactly what you said that you wasn't gonna do in the other election. And we're gonna dig deep into it on the next show and things like that. As far as Nelly is concerned, baby, you can cancel Christmas because he put out a tour something or whatever, and black people are already saying that they're not going to support and things like that or whatever. So my thing is you can't bite the hand that feeds you. You can't shit on us and think that we're gonna support you at the same time or whatever. You know what I'm saying? You chose because you said you respect the office of the presidency and you don't care who in office. Ain't no other president asked you. Guess what? We as black women and we as the 92 to 84%, we have spoke as well. We're not supporting your ass. We're not going to your concerts. We're not buying your music no more. We're not doing any of that stuff. So, live with your consequences. They did not learn from Chrisette Michelle when we told her not to go and perform at the White House. Her career still hasn't shaken back from and I used to like her. I used to love her music and stuff like that. I have listened to that woman since, she performed at the White House and things like that for Trump the first damn time. So since y'all didn't learn from Trump, Trump the first time, well, maybe y'all gonna learn now that when we say that we're done, we're done. So Snoop hasn't came out and said anything because my thing is Snoop Dogg, my boy, you can't come out and say anything because you put your foot in your mouth. because you was the one that was saying step and fetch ass Negroes and stuff. They asked 50 Cent to go up there and perform. 50 Cent straight up told them no. He was not performing and things like that. 50 Cent stayed true to the culture. But my thing is, it just goes to show you that all these these Negropeans can be bought and stuff like that or whatever.
But speaking to that, and I know we only got a few minutes to go
Of
and
course,
everything,
because
but
you got this and you got that, but you're shitting on the people that actually supported you and got you to the point where you are today. So what you did was you gave us our ass to kiss, and you told us screw us in the process or whatever. You don't give a damn about our opinions, and you don't give a damn about what we say and things like that. So guess what? We don't give a damn about your ass going on tour. We don't give a damn about your music. We don't give a damn about any of that. You and Nelly, Soldier Boy, all y'all. You know what I'm saying? Kick rocks, my niggas.
yeah, speaking of kicking rocks and all, this will be the last thing I'll bring up to your attention. But a noted singer, and he's definitely had a great reputation. Some people love his music, others don't. I've even had some family members that say that some of my family members have looked like him in the past and everything. But apparently, Chris Brown has filed a $500 million lawsuit against Warner Brothers, claiming defamation and emotional distress over the docu-series Chris Brown: A History of Violence. So the R&B singer is alleging the October 2024 series falsely portrayed him as a serial rapist and abuser. So he's actually put up a lawsuit. The lawsuit was filed, looks like it was last week on in
Again,
lawsuit.
again, you chose to deal with that other side. So, handle the consequences that come along with it. That's all I can tell you. Because wasn't he the same one that said, he didn't like dark skinned black women and stuff like that or whatever, when dark skinned black women was the main ones that were supporting him and saying that, they listen to his music and things like that or whatever. So, you jumped on that side, so deal with the consequences. So, I have no sympathy when you're over there, sweetheart.
Well, apparently he's part of these charges that are
Can't
featured in
be
the
in one capacity saying that you don't like black women in one capacity, then you over there, and then when they shit on your ass, you want black women to come to your defense and to come and help save the day. Sorry, we're
yeah, I
not
think
doing that. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
I think part of the discussion was over his relationship with Rihanna, because I think that one of those assault charges was when he was with Rihanna, and whether that is a true assault or what had happened, or whether she was beating
I
up on
wasn't
him.
there.
Yeah, I wasn't there. Neither one of us was there. We don't know what happened, but I think that that's part of what the
There, so I don't know.
documentary.
You know what I'm saying? That's what they said. They said it was an assault charge and things like that or whatever. So I have no idea. I mean, he does have a right to speak his truth. He does have a right to, say what he needs to say. But again, like I said, you appropriated with the other people. So what you want us to do? You know what I'm saying? You came out your mouth and said you didn't like black women, dark skinned black women or whatever. You know what I'm saying? But honestly, deal with the consequences of your actions. That's another, realm
Yeah,
your actions. You know, so handle your business. That's all I can tell you is handle your business. If you feel like you can get money from that lawsuit, my brother, go right ahead and get money from that lawsuit. Do what you do, boo.
yeah, I know that's right. Well, it's about time for us to wind down, but I know you got to get back to grading. And I might even have to do some more scoring because, like I said, they don't like that term grading, even though it's semantics as far as I'm concerned and
It's semantics.
everything. But I got to get back to doing some of that after I leave from the Hay Time. I might do another hour or two of it, and I'll definitely be doing some tomorrow and everything. But definitely, it's almost time, as you like to say, for that clock on the wall to hit that magic hour. But we covered a lot, including the things you wanted to, like DEI and HillmanTok, which I hope you'll be giving me that information so I can
I will
do a
definitely.
course with them and all along those lines, because it would be wonderful. And I love opportunities and everything like that. So looking forward to it. And it's always a lively conversation with you, and you're always bringing out great points and everything like that.
Thank you so much. And like my producer, my wonderful producer Mark Lee has stated, the clock on the wall. We are going to basically end the show in momentarily. Make sure you guys click like, share. We're number one in the other countries and in the top 5 and all that. So we're trying to make it over here in the US where we're top 5. So if you would like to be a guest on the show, please reach out, let us know. And if not, just continue to listen, click like and share, and let's keep it moving and let's do what it do.
Do what it do. And on that note, we're going to get on out of here. As always, it's been fun, and I will catch you
Been a
on
pleasure.
the flip side.
What's up? What's up? What's up? Welcome to the All Around. I'm your gracious host, Dr. Anthony. Please tune in on Mondays at 6 p.m. for your entertainment purposes. We will hit current topics, old topics, and everything else in between. Be there or be square. Deuces, my loves.